Sup, quacks. So, since school has started for most people, I decided that a fun idea for a video would just be to talk about my school experience, well, specifically high school, and some like drama, because I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear about that. I'm talking about high school mainly because that's like what I remember the most, and also because college was like definitely interesting, but I feel like it wasn't really drama filled. It was pretty like uneventful on that front for the most part. Like there was definitely some weird moments, but I feel like high school has a lot of the crazy stuff that like you might want to hear. And also I want to hold off on like the college stuff for like another video where I actually talk about my experience related to like an art student. So yeah. So as for high school was definitely very wild because there was just so much going on at my school. I graduated 6 years ago, which is crazy to think about, but yeah. Anyway, one of the biggest issues at my high school was that it had an overcrowding issue. Like, it was so bad that sometimes I would be like late for class because the hallways were so crowded that people were like pushing up against each other and like shoving each other just to get to their classrooms. Like, it was almost a crowd surge. Like, I feel like I sound dramatic, but I did have like a concern at some point that like I would get crushed in the hallway because that's how crowded it was. And I don't know if they got the whole issue like resolved or not. Like, I don't know if a lot of the issues that the school had got fixed ever since I graduated, but that was definitely like a massive problem there. But anyway, so yeah, high school was pretty crazy. The teachers were okay. There were a few teachers that I didn't like, but for the most part, the teachers that I did like were mainly like this forensics teacher I had. She was really fun. She left though, I think after I graduated, or maybe after like I think my senior year. I can't remember which, but she was like really fun. And the forensic class was actually one of my favorite classes like ever in my entire high school years. I remember that like that teacher had like the cadence and excitement of a preschool teacher, but she was teaching forensics. So like imagine someone with like a sing-songy voice and being like, "Hey kids, today we're gonna learn about murder and crime." Like that's basically how she was. It was so funny. Like she just seemed so excited, and honestly like I love teachers like that who are just genuinely excited about like what they're teaching the kids. I love that class also because we did like these really fun projects and labs. We actually made a crime scene diorama based on like a prompt or something like that, and that was really fun. I think I have a photo of it, but like it's so bad. I think it was supposed to be like Squidward or something like that because I was trying to be funny, but yeah, it was really fun to do. We also went on a field trip to a museum, and I think there was this exhibit from like this lady who made these crime scene dioramas of actual like literal crimes, and she was using like doll houses and dolls to like set up the scene of like what happened, and she got really famous for it. I can't remember her name though, but I just thought that was so cool, and like that class definitely like got me into like forensics. Like I guess you could say it was my true crime phase. But anyway, yeah, like we watched Forensic Files a lot in that class. We also we would have to like read a small portion of something from the Sherlock Holmes book. I think it was like the original like series, like when it first came out, and then there would be some sort of mystery or whatever, and we had to like answer the question of like, okay, what's going on in this brief thing, and then afterwards the teacher would collect, and I think we got graded for it. I really can't remember, like, because I did the really stupid thing of throwing away like all my high school notes, and like I feel dumb for that because I probably doodled on a lot of stuff and I probably threw it all away and I didn't realize. That's why in college I like cut up all my notebooks because I was like, I need to get all these doodles and then throw everything away. But anyway, yeah, that class was so fun. There was definitely some like gross moments. Like the class was held off from like younger students. I think you had to be like in the 10th or 11th grade to actually take it because like the content was so intense that it was like, yeah, we can't let the freshmen take this class. It's too much for them. And I was like, you know what? You're kind of right. This class was pretty crazy, but it was a fun class. But anyway, back to the regular high school stuff. So I was also in a band, and the band was, I mean, I liked the music we played. I liked playing in it. I just didn't like everyone else because like I was a band kid in execution, but not like in the personality way. Like, you know, the band kid stereotype. I was not that. So like, I was not the annoying band kid. I was the kid that just showed up, played my instrument, and then I left.
I'm Andrew, and for the final time, I am not a band kid. I'm just a kid in band.
A lot of the other kids in the class were band kids, though. They were very obnoxious, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I remember, I think in my first year, there was this kid, and he was like the most annoying person ever. He was that loud equals funny type of person. He was always yelling, and like, here's the thing that never made sense to me. The teacher would get mad at you if you like had your phone out for like 2 seconds. But this kid was always freaking yelling and making stupid jokes, and he never said anything to the kid. He never told him to shut up. He never was like, hey, can you like tone it down? No, he never really got on the kid for being obnoxious, and it's like, it wasn't funny. Like, the stuff he's saying wasn't funny. He was trying so hard to be funny, and I sound really mean, but like, if you heard what I heard, you understand what I mean. It was like he was trying really, really hard to be like the charismatic class clown type, and it's like, bro, to be the class clown, you have to actually be funny, and you can't like force it. If you force it, then it's like a problem, and it's gonna be like, yeah, you're not really that funny. But yeah, he was forcing it way too hard, and thankfully, like, I think the year after, he wasn't in my class anymore, and I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you, I do not want to hear this student anymore. Thankfully, after that, when he left or when he went to a different class, I was like so much happier, but still there was a lot of annoying things going on because like when I would come in, you have to be in that class super early because after a certain time, if you didn't show up on time, everyone would have their instruments in their chair set up, and I would have to always squeeze through and find room because they would just never make room. Like, I would literally be like, hey, can you like move? And they just wouldn't move, and I'm like, bro, I need to sit somewhere. I need to set up my stand. Why are you being like this? And it happened so many times, and it's like, I would have to literally leave super early. Like, I would have to rush over to the band room because people would never make enough room for me to sit down. And then sometimes I would have to share my stand. I hated sharing my stand because then I would have to constantly be like flipping my music and stuff, and it was really distracting while we were playing. And I'm like, bro, can you just... Ugh. I feel like I was like invisible in that class because I swear like so many things happened where I was like, bro, can you guys like see me? Like, what's going on here? Am I that unnoticeable that like I literally remember there's a point where like I had to do something like as a senior or whatever. It was like a senior performance. Wait, no, it was the graduation because like I had to perform my own high school graduation because it was like part of like the whole band tradition or whatever. And like I wanted to make sure that like my instrument was like securely taken there because like I couldn't bring it with me. Like the other people had to bring our instruments there, and like I wrote a bunch of stuff on tape just because I was like, okay, I'm making sure because I have no idea if anyone even knows I exist because like I'm so overlooked in the class. I just want to make sure that like you guys know who I am, so that way my instrument isn't left behind because that'd be really bad. And thankfully my instrument wasn't left behind. But yeah, it was just so annoying having to deal with that. And also I remember getting injured in that class a lot and people always dropping their instruments. Like, there was a time where someone was lifting up a chair and it hit the back of my like spine, and for like the rest of the day I just felt really weird. It wasn't a severe hit, but it definitely like struck my spine in a way where I just felt off, and I was in my health anxiety era during that time, so like obviously I wasn't like, oh, that's a little nick in the back, that's no big deal. No, my brain was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like die and get paralyzed because I was having like severe anxiety in high school, so that definitely was not fun. Band class was definitely interesting, and also there was this one cool thing about band class. So there was this optional trip to go to Disney World to perform there. It lasted like 3 days, and I wanted to make a separate video about this because it's a long thing, but also I kind of held off because like I don't have too many photos from it because this was back when I had like really crappy phones, and also I wasn't like taking the best pictures and whatnot, so it would just be mostly me talking, which kind of sucks. And also because I went to Disney World twice and the trips in memory have like overlapped with each other, so like honestly my experience with them would just be kind of blended together if I were to make a video. So yeah, I guess if you guys are interested, I can make a video about it, but like I said, I lost a lot of the photos, so like I don't have too many pictures to really share, and the memories are going to be like blurred because it's been so long, and because the trips were mostly the same, except the difference was we went to a different park in the second time because the one other park was closed, and so yeah. But anyway, the trip was really fun. I don't think they do the trips anymore for I don't know, reasons. But yeah, it was a really fun thing to do, and that was like one of the best parts of being in the band, was getting the chance to go to the trip. It was expensive, and we had to practice like after school, but it was definitely worth it to go. I don't think a lot of the teachers that I had that I didn't like were really that bad. I think there was only like maybe 2 instances of teachers doing something that kind of irked me, that I didn't like. Like, I remember I had this science teacher. He taught chemistry, and like I didn't like him because like he was one of those teachers that just yapped a lot. I think that was the issue. And that, and another history teacher and a Spanish teacher I had, they all just yapped a lot, and it was really annoying because like we never get stuff done because they're always talking about themselves, and it's like, you know, it sounds good to like have a teacher yap because it's like, oh, less work to do, but no, that means that's more work to do. And also because like stuff they were talking about wasn't that interesting. Like, I don't care about like your life. I don't want to hear about your kids or whatever. I just want to get this work done so I can leave. And then I remember a history teacher, she yapped a lot. She was also very mean as well. I remember one time I stood up just to get the bathroom pass, and also I hate the whole bathroom pass thing. I think it's really stupid, but whatever. I remember I quietly walked up to get it, and she was talking during class, and then I handed it to her, and she was like, excuse me, you should raise your hand if you want to go to the bathroom. And she signed it. I'm like, can you just let me go? Like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I don't want to hear you give me attitude because, oh, you're interrupting me. Like, just let me go to the bathroom, okay? I was being quiet. I know I could have raised my hands, but like, you could have easily just signed it while you were talking and let me go. And also, I did not like this teacher because I remember near the end of the last day of class, she gave us work instead of just letting us chill. She didn't like put on some movie or whatever. She was like, no, you're gonna do work today. She made us do work, and then she also said it was graded. And I was like, excuse me? You're giving us graded work to do on the last day of school? Excuse me? I'm not doing graded work. I mean, I did it, but like still, what are you going to grade? Like, you're giving yourself more work to do. Like, what is wrong with you? Who wants to grade work on the last day of school? Like, you just made work harder for yourself. But honestly, you know what? You deserve it. Do it. Because you know what? You want to be like that? Fine. Cool. Because I was just like, ugh, that was so rude. And then I remember the Spanish teacher I had, she wasn't that bad, but I remember she like went on an entire tangent because I was giving a presentation and people were talking, and instead of just telling them to shush, she went on like an entire ramble about like being respectful to people and like, making sure that you don't talk during presentation. But I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying, but you just spent like 5 minutes talking about being respectful during a presentation while I'm giving a presentation, and I'm standing here waiting for you to finish talking so I can finish my presentation. Like, I know what she was doing was like I get, her heart was in the right place, but like, I'm standing here awkwardly waiting to finish my freaking presentation, and you're rambling. You could have just told them, hey, be respectful and be quiet. But no, you had to go on a tangent, maybe stand there awkwardly, and that was also not good for my anxiety because I had to sit there and like, wonder what to say next in Spanish. In Spanish, had to say it all in Spanish, so that was really hard. But yeah, I mean, she wasn't that bad of a teacher looking back on it. I think a lot of people made fun of her because she had a really unfortunate last name. It was Cox, but with an X. So, yeah, people made fun of her for that. She wasn't that bad looking back on it. I think I just didn't like her because at the time I was just, angsty teen. And I think she did get on me because I drew during class a lot. And I think that was another thing I didn't like about some of the teachers was that they got mad at me for drawing during class, and it's like, I'm listening to you, I'm just doodling. Like, I don't really think it's that bad. I think drawing during class isn't on the same level as using your phone during class. One thing is like maybe looking up answers and being generally distracted in a way that's like not good, and then the other is like a non-disturbing thing. Like, people doodle to focus, so I don't really see that why it's a problem, but whatever. Anyway, so now that I've gotten like some of that out of the way, I think now I can talk about the real fun drama that happened while I was in school, and it was all because of this friend group. And oh boy, this drama was so stupid and petty that looking back on it, it's really funny but also really bad. So for context, I was a part of this friend group. I'm only friends with one person out of the group because the other friend, we kind of grew distant and I haven't seen her in years. But we all were like this huge friend group, and I don't know how we really met. We knew each other since middle school, and the drama, there was a lot of drama going on in middle school, but frankly, I don't really care about middle school. Middle school, I forget a lot of, but high school is where I remember a lot of stuff. But anyway, so I remember that there was a lot of drama in this group, like all the time. I can't really remember specifics of like certain things that happened, but let's just say it got pretty bad. And then there was like these two dudes that my friends dated that were just some of the worst people ever. Like, and by worst people ever, I mean they threatened to shoot up the school at one point.
What was that? Okay, James.
I don't know what was going on with them. I was just like, okay, all right, guys, just yikes. Anyway, and then, oh boy. So there was this girl who was kind of like the, I guess, leader of the group. I did not like her. We were never really friends. Like, I don't know what her deal was, but she just had a stick up her ass all the time. She was always angry, always complaining, always whining about everything. She also had a boyfriend, and I felt really bad for him because, like, I don't know why he was putting up with her, because it was clear that he was not happy or comfortable around her, because he was just always sighing and just like, She was always nagging at him, and I'm just like, girl, leave him alone. He is just trying to exist, and you're always blabbering and always being like, can you not do this? Can you not do that? Like, can you stop? Or like, bro, can you like do this thing? And it's like, leave him alone. Oh my gosh. But yeah, she was always so annoying and rude for like no reason. And I remember she'd always get mad over like the littlest things. She was rude to other people too. And she was just never afraid to be rude. I remember that, like, I would complain to my mom because I used to tell her about my day at school, and I used to complain about her all the time. It was always about, like, every little thing she did. I did not like her. And I'm not someone that usually dislikes a lot of people. It takes a lot for me to really, truly dislike and be really annoyed by a person. I can be annoyed by an action, but, like, to really be irritated and to truly dislike a person, that takes a lot. So, congratulations. I did not like this girl at all. And so there was this drama that happens that really pissed me off, and it's so funny but so stupid. It was during lunch. I was gonna tell one of my friends at the table about the news of the Disney trip that I was gonna go on. I was smiling slightly because I was like excited to tell her, and then so this chick sees me smiling, and instead of just being like, oh, she's smiling, whatever, she just decides to assume that I'm laughing at her. And I will admit that I didn't react the most maturely. I didn't just say, oh no, I'm not laughing at you. I was smiling because I had some really great news to tell, and I'm really happy about it. That would have solved everything and nothing would have happened, but still I had to double down and be like, what? No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just, like, I don't even think I said that. I was like, so I can laugh, like, freedom of speech or whatever. I don't know, it was so stupid. But yeah, she just got like really mad at me, and it was just like, bro, no one's laughing at you. And so we started yelling, and I stood up and I walked away to eat somewhere else, and people were staring because they thought there was gonna be a fight going down. There was no fight. I just yelled a little bit and I left. And then the next day, like, there was all this crap going. Everyone was like, bro, can you, like, you know, guys, can you guys make up? And I was like, no. I was being kind of stubborn about it because I was being a stubborn kid. I was being really stupid back then. So I kind of just left and sort of just stayed away from the group for a while. I think it was a couple of months. Like, we didn't make up until like May. But frankly, I don't really mind, because looking back on it, a lot of the friends in the group didn't even bother to like reach out to me anyway. Like, I don't even think I was really close with some of the people in the group, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But like, only 2 friends really stuck by me. And they were the ones that, like, I still consider my friends, like, even after high school. But, yeah, they were the ones that actually stuck around and hung out with me during that time, because they actually were like, nah, you were kind of in the right, because what she did was kind of wrong. And everyone else was like, no, you gotta, like, make up and forgive her. Like, yeah, what I said was not good, but still. Anyway, there was one point where sometimes the friends would hang out with the group and then with me. And they told me once that this chick said, and this is what really made me like upset and why I still do not like her, and if I still saw her today, I would not want to be around her. She said, I could care less if she died. And I'm like, what?
Girl, shut the fuck up. You thought you ate that? Bitch, you...
Alright. Mind you, this was all because she thought I was laughing at her. Because I smiled. Because I wanted to tell my friend good news. she thought I was laughing at her, and then she said that. So yeah, after we made up, quote unquote, I was like, whatever. I kept my distance, didn't say anything. Mind you, I didn't even talk that much to her anyway. But yeah, so I just, yikes, you know? I kept my distance, I didn't bother her after that, even though I never did in the first place, but that just solidified my perception of her as a person, like, deeply. And then there was, like, something that happened in college that just kind of shocked me a little bit. So one of my old friends had reached out to me randomly, and this was while I was in class. She didn't know that, obviously, but, like, during a painting class, she randomly texted me, like, oh, hey, do you remember so-and-so? And I'm like, yes. And then she was just asking me, like, oh, yeah, you know, weren't you guys friends or something like that? And I said, no, we weren't friends. And, like, I didn't even mean that because of the drama. I meant that just because we legitimately weren't friends. We never hung out after school. I didn't even have her number. We never hung out or talked, like, one-on-one at all. I was just in the group, and she happened to be in the group with me, and I was only friends with some of the people in the group, so yeah, like, we genuinely weren't friends, and I probably should have said that, but, like, I feel bad. But I think she was also talking to her at the same time, because the way, like, how she responded afterwards was like, oh, she's kind of upset about that you said that, like, I thought you guys were friends. And I'm like, wait, are you talking to her and me at the same time? Like, did she reach out to you to ask, and then you wanted to reach out to me to ask about her? Like, what's going on here? So then she kept trying to ask, oh, why aren't you guys friends? Why don't you consider her a friend? I'm like, I don't want to go into it, because I didn't want to bring up the drama, because I was worried that I felt petty. The point is that the drama was, like, it had subsided, but it was still, like, pretty, you know, somewhat a little fresh. Like, I still had more of a memory of that back then. But yeah, like, I just felt it was really weird that she randomly just asked me about her, and I'm assuming she was talking about her to me like that. Like, I was just like, okay, I don't really want to talk to her again. But yeah, I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to, like, start anything. But yeah, after that point, I didn't talk to that friend either, because I felt kind of bad. I admit that I sounded a little aggressive when I said I didn't want to talk about, like, why I didn't consider her a friend. Can you please stop asking me about it? And then she never talked to me again. And then randomly, like, this year, I randomly see her at freaking BJ's and Costco's all of a sudden, and I'm like, I never saw you guys shopping here before. And then it was just really weird. I awkwardly waved at her, and I felt really bad because I was like, I wasn't sure if, like, she still remembered that text message. Like, that was the last thing I ever said to her before I ended up just kind of deleting her number, because, like, I didn't really, because we never really hung out after that point, like, after high school, really. So, like, I don't know. I felt really bad. I don't know if you know she remembers or not, or she wanted to reconnect, but yeah, it was just kind of, it's a little sad, you know? Like, I was just like, oh, man. I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't want to risk, like, if I did become friends with her again, like, I don't want to risk becoming friends with her and hanging out with her, and then it turns out the other chick is there and she's still friends with her. I don't want to deal with that, because I've already dealt with enough crazy friendships and toxic people. I could go on about those types of relationships, but I'm not going to. But yeah, like, that was high school. Man, high school was pretty yikes. I mean, I feel like there was way more that I could have said, but I feel like that drama that I mentioned was, like, gonna probably be the bulk of the video. So yeah, if you're going back to school, have fun, make sure you do your homework, don't procrastinate, get your stuff done. And if you're gonna graduate this semester or whatever, or you're gonna graduate next semester or whenever, if you're gonna graduate within the next year or so, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't get senioritis, and just make sure you work hard, and hopefully you have some sort of plan after you graduate, whether it's high school or college, because I know most people watch my videos are either in high school or they're in college. So yeah, anyways, make sure you guys get good grades, do well, eat well, sleep well. Make sure you get 7 hours of sleep. Don't stay up until, like, 3 a.m. playing video games or watching anime. Don't do that. Make sure you get to bed at, like, 10 p.m. at least, 11 p.m. at the latest. If you go to bed at, like, 12 a.m., you're screwed. Make sure you get enough sleep, okay? That's a big deal. Anyway, I'll see you quacks later.